back. This is Newslink right here on ENCA. Let's bring you this story now. The Transformation Alliance is currently concerned about continued postponements of rape cases. It comes as the bail hearing of an alleged Soshanguve rapist was postponed as the accused changed lawyers. Now, the party was also approached by another victim who has had her case postponed about 4 times. So let's find out more from Transformation Alliance President Abel joins me at this point to talk to us about this matter. Abel, thank you so much for your time and good morning to you. With this particular case, why was it postponed? I understand postponed to the 4th of July 2023, but what are the reasons?
Good morning, Dumelo, and good morning to viewers at home. Apparently, the reasons is that the alleged perpetrator has requested that he be given a chance to change his legal team. Now, we obviously would respect that, but unfortunately, the continued postponement of these cases is really problematic, in that the longer they take, it takes a toll on the victim themselves. But over and above that, Dumelo, you'd understand that our involvement with the case came as a result of this particular perpetrator not being arrested, and they're walking around even after the case was opened. We were approached to say they are being frustrated that this person is just walking around, in fact, intimidating the perpetrator. And we have seen this trend, time and time again in different cases where, even police get involved. There was an allegation that there's a policeman who was trying to broker a deal to induce this victim financially so that they take some form of a financial compensation to drop the case. And in a country with the highest prevalence of rape, this is really uncomfortable for us, and we really need to take this to, these people who are doing these things.
Yeah, I think equally concerning is the re-victimization of victims at this stance. I mean, they're already dealing with a case, so the constant, postponements, having to still face the perpetrator. You can imagine the psychological and emotional, instability that causes. But also, you've received, I suppose, another complaint, Abel, from another victim who says their case this time around was postponed at least 4 times.
Yes, indeed. We have been approached by another victim in the same court who says their case has now been postponed for the 4th time, and no real reasons are given for the postponement, except that obviously there would be a technicality here and a technicality there, which is unfortunate because re-victimization of these victims is a reality. If you look at one of the biggest challenges we have as a nation is that not enough support is also made available to victims of rape. Most of them, we had to arrange counseling ourselves for this victim. I can only imagine that the second victim does not get counseling. There's no support whatsoever. And over and above that, these perpetrators get an opportunity to be working outside, and they continue to really intimidate these individuals. And it's sad. It's sad that a crime such as serious as this one. This is in the same area, not far from where we've had the unfortunate death of the young student from the school, which made headlines, and we've moved on swiftly. You would expect that more resources are pumped into such areas. They are seen as hotspots, and a lot is being done to curb this kind of crime. But unfortunately, there is no political will and seriousness to make sure that these crimes are being dealt with decisively. And therefore, it becomes very important for the community to be conscientized and mobilized behind these victims and to mobilize to try and stand up with the victims, because if we cannot do it ourselves, it's clear no one is going to do it for us.
Yeah, and honestly, the gaps are quite evident. Criticism, as far as the handling of rape cases, is evident from the reporting of the crime to the DNA backlog in terms of, getting those DNA tests done and dusted, to the police recording statements, all the way to, the law and the courts. There seems to be, challenges in the value system. What would you like to see happen in terms of intervention to not only expedite these cases when they're out in the courts, Abel, but also to see justice? Victims just want justice.
Absolutely, Tumelo. I think a lot can be done. I think the 2010 World Cup, there should have been lessons that we've learned from there. We set up special courts to prosecute and to deal expediently with cases that would have happened during that time. And we have demonstrated that we can as a country. This is one such intervention that is quite needed. That we need to be seeing special courts that are set up to ensure that rape cases go much quicker. You would understand that poor victims, the longer it takes, before you know it, when they get to the stand and get to cross-examination, because of the time that lapses and the traumatic experience they've had, they tend to become incoherent in terms of the evidence that they are going to deliver, because it's no longer fresh. It's a year later. The perspective is much different. They've been intimidated throughout the time. And so it's a much bigger problem where individuals who perpetuate these crimes will get away with these crimes. And we're saying, as the Transformation Alliance, it's about time that resources are pumped into this crime. But crime fighting in general needs to be a priority in this country. I mean, we cannot live in a country, where every crime state is horrendous. We are just leading in just about every area where we shouldn't be, especially when it comes to GBV. And I think as society and as South Africans, we really need to say we cannot coexist with this kind of a crime. Women need to be protected, and those who are vulnerable in society. This is a campaign that we need to take to every street corner, that we need to take to every water point at work, that we need to take to every restaurant and have over dinner tables, because really we cannot continue like this. But we are watching these cases in Soshanguve. There's one in Temba as well where a school bus driver raped a child whom they've been driving over time. So we're saying we will be going to crashes and just talking to parents to say, let's be vigilant. Most of these crimes are with people whom we know and people who we are familiar with, and we just need to look out for the signs and really take this seriously.
Absolutely. Also, just before I let you go, your recommendation or even advice even to victims, Abel, because I can imagine this could be discouraging to the next person who went through a rape incident and may think, listen, I'm listening to Tumelo and Abel speak right now. I'm not sure if I'm willing to report such a crime or go through what other victims are going through. What would your advice be in terms of them still coming forward and reporting these crimes, even under these conditions that we're currently dealing with, as we look towards a solution?
Look, Tumelo, I think my advice would always be that it's absolutely important that they go out and report these crimes. They need to keep their case numbers. And where they see that there is no progress, they need to go out and reach out to community organizations. There's quite a few in different communities. There's political organizations. I think one of the things that we really need to put our political organizations on the ground to do is to assist communities and stand with communities in matters such as this one. So they need to look out for community activists and stand up. But more than anything, I think these things need to permeate. Approach your religious leaders. There's churches all over in our country, and I think they are stepping up. This is one of the things that we really are also reaching out to religious communities to say, let's be on the lookout and be that safe haven when nothing else is there for victims of such crimes. But more than anything, let them get as much help as possible. I think one of the prayers that gets answered often is the prayer help. So people must just go out there and ask for help wherever they can. And we encourage community activists to be available as well and visible. Our activists are out there on the ground, and people should not just be going to do door-to-door to seek votes, but they should go out there to see whether or not people are really getting the services that they should be getting and see how they can assist. And I think if we collectively can start moving in that direction, we will hold those in power to account and make sure that this situation turns around.
And I appreciate you speaking to us about this, Abel Dow, the Transformation Alliance president, just lamenting the state with which the dealing and handling of rape cases is currently standing in South Africa. Another postponement whereby an alleged rapist has seen, of course, their case being postponed to the 4th of July because they had changed lawyers and legal representatives. Now the new lawyers have to acquaint themselves with the case. That, of course, takes time. It's re-victimization for the victim. Another victim having their case postponed 4 times. You can imagine the psychological and mental well-being that one has to endure due to these postponements. So a call to